The UAE now appears to be turning towards Washington's main rival as its long-standing security bet on the US appears to be backfiring. In barely 10 days of all-out war, the UAE has faced some of the worst of Iran's fury, with over 1,400 drones fired. Abu Dhabi is now openly seeking Moscow's diplomatic and security help, amid growing reports that the US has effectively abandoned its Arab allies. Reports claim Washington has been stonewalling urgent Gulf requests to replenish interceptor missiles, leaving Arab partners exposed. Even as its air defense stocks are reportedly running low, the UAE is sending a clear message that it is no easy prey.
The enemy wants us to be at war with Islamic countries, to create differences between us and other countries. Responding to what they do does not mean we are fighting that country. Other message to the enemy of the Emirates. The UAE is attractive. The UAE is beautiful. The UAE is a model. But I say to them, do not be misled by the UAE's appearance. The UAE has thick skin and bitter flesh. We are no easy prey.
The UAE foreign minister has held a crucial call with Russia's top diplomat, discussing the rapidly escalating US-Israel war on Iran and its spillover into the wider Gulf. According to the Kremlin, Abdullah bin Zayed and Sergey Lavrov jointly called for an immediate halt to all attacks, not only on Iran but also on the vulnerable Gulf states caught in the crossfire. Moscow stressed that only renewed diplomacy and serious political talks can guarantee long-term security in the region, warning that the current military spiral is simply unsustainable. For its part, the UAE underlined that any nation under fire reserves the right to take necessary steps to safeguard its sovereignty and protect its people from ongoing attacks. The UAE Foreign Ministry said, and I quote, "The calls addressed the serious repercussions of these developments on regional security and stability and their negative impact on the global economy and energy security." His Highness and the ministers strongly condemned these unprovoked missile attacks, which constitute a flagrant violation of international law and the Charter of the United Nations and pose a direct threat to security and sovereignty of states, as well as regional stability. They also affirmed the right of the targeted countries to take the necessary measures to safeguard their sovereignty and territorial integrity, and the safety of their citizens, residents, and visitors, in accordance with international law. Furthermore, they underscored the importance of advancing diplomatic solutions to resolve the current crisis, preserve regional security and stability, and fulfill the aspirations of the region's peoples for inclusive development and sustainable economic prosperity. The Russian Foreign Ministry said, and I quote, "The ministers expressed deep concern over the situation around Iran and spoke in favor of immediate steps to de-escalate the military confrontation. Attention was drawn to the need to halt attacks leading to civilian casualties and damage to civilian infrastructure both in the Arab countries of the Persian Gulf and in Iran. The sides consider it fundamentally important to resume political and diplomatic efforts aimed at reaching agreements to ensure reliable, long-term security in the region." In parallel, US President Donald Trump also held a phone call with the UAE President on March 8, as Washington tried to manage the fallout with a key Gulf partner. Russia's outreach to the UAE foreign minister came right in the middle of intense regional unrest, with multiple fronts of conflict stretching across the Middle East. Iran has been firing waves of missiles and drones at US Gulf allies, openly targeting American assets and bases spread across the region. Yet in response, the US is reportedly stonewalling urgent ally requests to replenish air defense stocks, fueling anger and a sense of abandonment among partners. One Gulf state that came under heavy Iranian fire is said to have approached Washington for new interceptor missiles as its supplies dwindled. According to a Middle East Eye report, that Arab ally was effectively brushed off by US officials, driving home just how fragile those security guarantees have become. Since February 28, Iran has launched more than 1,400 drones and over 200 missiles at the UAE, according to the country's own defense ministry figures. Between February 28 and March 1, buildings linked to THAAD radar systems were hit at 2 UAE sites, Ruwais and Sharjah, in what looked like deliberate attempts to blind key defenses. Shelters that normally house THAAD radar trailers were damaged in the strikes, although it remained unclear whether the sensitive equipment inside had been destroyed or moved. Al Jazeera reported that at least 3 people have been killed and more than 112 injured in Iran's attacks on the UAE, highlighting the growing human toll. UAE government data shows that out of 1,422 hostile UAVs detected, 1,342 were intercepted, while around 80 still managed to impact on land. 4 ballistic missiles, 238 were tracked, 221 intercepted, with 15 falling into the sea and 2 hitting land targets, again according to official Emirati figures. All 8 cruise missiles detected so far were reportedly intercepted before they could strike, underscoring how critical every single launch has become. Since the war began, Iran has repeatedly insisted that it is only targeting US interests on Gulf soil, not the host nations themselves. However, on March 8, the UAE Foreign Ministry declared that the country is now effectively in a state of defense against Iran, treating the attacks as direct threats. These statements came amid claims circulating online that the UAE had retaliated by striking an Iranian desalination plant. Abu Dhabi flatly denied any such retaliatory strike, dismissing reports of an attack on Iran's desalination unit as nothing more than fake news. A senior UAE Interior Affairs official bluntly stated that if the country had taken such action, it would have had the courage to announce it openly rather than hide behind rumors.
The enemy wants us to be at war with Islamic countries, to create differences between us and other countries. We have said this many times, and the intention and goal of the supreme leader has been the same. We must have brotherhood and good relations with our neighboring countries. But what is happening is that they want to attack and violate our land from every country. Naturally, we are forced to respond to them. And responding to what they do does not mean we are fighting that country. It does not mean that, God forbid, we won't upset the people there. We are forced to respond because they attack us, and the more pressure they exert, the greater our ability to respond will naturally be. We have stood against those who attack our country with power, and we will respond with power. Our nation, our people, and certainly our armed forces, and all the besiegers who are present in all parts of the country will defend our country with all their might, and will disrupt the dream they saw. Our Iran, our country, will not bow down easily against bullying, against injustice, against aggression, and has not bowed down, and there's no way our heroic nation will back down easily against these threats they make. We understand that some believe we have apologized. We are saddened that our dear people are worried about this regional conflict, and we are sorry they are. But those who have attacked us from their soil, we will naturally respond, and we will respond with power. These two are separate. We are friends with countries in the region. They are our brothers. I told them yesterday that we must try to work together and not allow Israel and America to make the countries of the region stand against each other through deception and trickery within our country and around our country. There are people who are worried that they have problems with us and with our country. Now, in my opinion, it's not the time for them to go and stand by the policies that America and Israel are designing. If we have disagreements, we should resolve them ourselves. We should not allow them to turn these disagreements towards their nefarious intentions. It will not be possible. Praise be to God, Lord of the worlds. I am in the hospital. I visited 5 of the injured civilians. 2 Emiratis, an Indian, a Sudanese, and an Iranian. They are a responsibility we bear, and God willing, they will be safe and will recover soon. God willing. Another thing I would like to say is that the UAE is doing well, and it has loyal citizens who are a source of pride. I want to thank the military establishment for its distinguished role during this war, and I thank the other security institutions, the Ministry of Interior, the security services, the civil defense, and please excuse anyone whose name I have forgotten, but they all played an honorable role for the UAE. Another thing I would like to mention is that the Emiratis who live in this country have fulfilled their duty in a joyful and honorable manner, and this is what we expect of them. May God protect them. As for the residents, they are our guests and our family. Their stances are honorable. They should excuse us if there's been any shortcoming on our part, but we are in a time of war. I promise them that we will fulfill our duty, because this is an obligation upon us to protect our people and our country. The other message to the enemy of the Emirates. The UAE is attractive. The UAE is beautiful. The UAE is a model. But I say to them, do not be misled by the UAE's appearance. The UAE has thick skin and bitter flesh. We are no easy prey, and we will do our duty toward our country, our people, and the residents who are our people. May God protect the Emirates, its people, and all who are in it with glory and security. And I promise everyone that we will come out stronger. May God protect you.